Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Andre. My wife kind of is yakking and choking away there. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host from the Team Maple City headquarters. It's basically my apartment in the local West End. Those brief little story about West End. My family comes from so at the very beginning of when Sudbury's history first started. The town, back when it was just originally the Coppercliff community, my great great grandfather, which is before my grandma's dad and before him, uh, used to be the first appointed mayor of Sudbury at the time, and I believe it was around 1762 or the early or just around 1762 or like between there and the 1800s. So from the stories I heard of this guy, his name was Alfred Fournier. Alfred Fournier ran as the first appointed mayor of Sudbury. Also had some ties in Parliament Hill in Ottawa. He also opened up the first educational system here in Sudbury, where he would invite um, parents to bring their kids over to his place, and he would teach them the basics of reading, writing, math, and stuff like that. And now, a lot of things that most of you guys don't know about Sudbury is Sudbury's had multiple name changes throughout its course before it became what we now know as Greater Sudbury, Ontario. So, back when it was just Coppercliff, this is going to be hard to believe, but the Sudbury area was literally filled with nothing but pine trees. So, this might sound silly, but the Sudbury actually nicknamed their town back then as Pineville, or also known as Cedarville, because Sudbury was full of pine trees and cedar trees. Yep. You guys just heard that correctly from my wife. Well, a lot of places were before we destroyed them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though, because in reality, you have to destroy it in order to survive, but then it's like, are we really surviving or are we just living? You know, we're just being.
Hey guys, this is my wife on the chat. She's joining in on the chat today. There's some interesting things about Sudbury, which I actually came across recently, actually a couple years back. So if I go out towards Frenchman Lake, is that where it is? Oh, there it is. So, oh fuck, where is it now? I had discovered an interesting picture. Yeah, there's an angel just outside of Frenchman Lake.
I think it's like somewhere in that type of.
That was close to Frenchman Lake.
You see, like the grass, the darker green that looks like there's the vines in it. It was something like that, like an area like that. I think.
Yeah, it's near here.
No, I don't think so. I think it was more like.
That's it there.
Oh, okay.
So guys, if you guys look here, you guys can see. Now I don't know if a human did this, but just I find it odd. So we hear about these designs that are pretty much in farm fields and stuff like that. Well, of like weird symbols and shit like that. Well, turns out in Sudbury, we actually have a similar thing. So if you guys look, just this is going to be right near Frenchman Lake. I'm not sure how long it would take to actually get to this area from that lake, but if you actually look, you can see a head right here, and then you can see a body, and you got what looks to be two wings, and you can actually see the neck. Now, what to also point out, this angel actually has a nose and eyes. If you look right here, you can actually see the nose, And you can actually see the eyes right here. Now, I found this interesting when I first noticed it because it's pretty much caught my eye right away. Because if you look at the outside green, um, the outside green is a lot lighter in color compared to what this is. Now, rather, a human took the time and possibly planted, which I estimate to be around, what do you think, 5 to 10,000 trees?
Oh gosh, that's farther up, so it's hard to say. Could be more.
Yeah, so there's a lot of trees in here, so I figured there might be more than 10,000
Well,
trees
think
in here.
about how closely they are together. There's no gaps whatsoever in the image.
Yeah,
That's probably a lot of trees.
yeah. Now, if a human did this, bravo to you. But you also keep in mind, guys, this area in general is the heaviest bush area in all of Southern Ontario. It also has the largest wildlife population, ranging from bears, mooses, coyotes, foxes, water bears, and there's over 2,500 different type of insect species out there. Also, there's a lot of water snakes and snakes out there, and I mean there is a shit ton. Especially if you go towards Frenchman Lake. Frenchman Lake has a whole bunch of water bears, and whoever decides to dive in this area, I'll be damned. Someone, who's the fucking dog right in the middle of the fucking ocean, like right in the middle of the lake? That's new. So, anyways, back when I was a kid, me and my stepfather, which I'm not going to mention his name because I really don't like him. We went for a boat trip on my stepmother's father's boat, and we went around this area. Well, this area in particular is has a lot of lily pads and stuff like that. But what I found interesting was right around here. There is a actually sorry, a little bit closer to the shoreline. But right around here, there is a white object that can actually, in fact, be seen from the water if you're on top of it in a boat. And we estimated at the time the object to be around 200 or 300 feet deep. It was deep enough that we could actually see it through the darkness of the lake. So yeah, if there's any divers that want to go check it out, I've actually tried diving there in the past to try to lift the object. Unfortunately, whatever this thing is, it is way too heavy to even move. It is not a rock, from what I can determine. It is not a rock. It's some sort of object that basically should not be there. And I'm just interested in still trying to find out what it is. But there is a white object in Frenchman Lake at the bottom of the lake that cannot be hoisted up by a regular jack. We've tried. It can actually, well, when we actually tried to bring the object out of the water, it almost tipped our boat over. That's how much weight this thing has. So, and I estimate it to be just over 2,500 to possibly 3,000 pounds. And the object is no bigger than a 6'2" adult, its arms spread out wide. So yeah, that's how big the object is. I'm not sure yet what the actual height of the object is, because where it is actually embedded pretty much on the floor of the lake, so it's coated in mud and shit like that. And if any object that gets stuck in mud provides a suction, and suction does not allow you to not do that. So yeah, there's also this little island. Oh fuck, they still have their fucking house there. Oh shit. Oh guys, this is the Berger's cabin or house now. As if they are still living there. So guys, years ago, back when I was a kid, My stepmother's parents decided to permanently move out to Frenchman Lake. Originally, they had a small little cabin here, and we were able to just walk right down to the lake. And then they started building this structure. Yeah. And also, if you go out to Minnow Lake, some forgotten history about that lake. There's Minnow Lake, Minnow Lake, Minnow Lake. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I can't find Minnow Lake. So, guys, Minnow Lake also had a huge part of my family's in the Lit history. So, from what I understand, back when in the earlier times, there used to be a wood mill located. So, if you're looking at, let's say you're at Carmichael Arena. So, if you were looking around here, there used to be a wood mill that was set up. Now, as story goes, there was a massive fire on this wood mill, and the mill eventually burned down to the ground, pretty much into the lake, because at the time they couldn't get fire trucks out to that specific site in general. Because back then in around the early 1900s, they didn't have fire trucks like we do today. They didn't have the technology where they could shoot water over 300 feet. So they basically had to make the decision to let the wood mill burn to the ground and pretty much into the lake. So a lot of people have questioned over the years, well, why does Minnow Lake have logs in it? Well, Minnow Lake has logs in it because of the wood mill burnt down. The lake, if I'm correct, it is not swimmable. There is a lot of logs and a lot of debris in there from that fire. I'm not sure yet how many casualties there were at the time, but I haven't done that much research on it since I first heard about it. But I have done research on the fact that there was in fact a wood mill there that is 100% legit. There was a wood mill there, and the logs in the lake can actually provide the evidence to support that. There used to be a platform and everything. So, with that being said, this blog will be done shortly. And to all you guys who are newcomers to our city, what you're seeing is very much Sudbury, Ontario. Now, I have said in the past that Sudbury, Ontario is the dumping grounds of Ontario, which don't get me wrong, that part is not a lie. Sudbury has a long way to go before we could create a peaceful community, including dealing with the fact that we have a homeless situation. A homeless situation can be dealt with if the city were to actually put the money to where the resources where we need them. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. A lot of these guys that live on the streets, they don't want to help. They prefer to live on the streets because it is cheaper. But in one sense, we do have our problems, like every other town does. Instead of fighting with the homeless guys, let's try to work with them. Create a better solution, a better plan for them. Instead of giving them shit for camping out in front of our businesses, our homes, and shit like that. Work with them. As much as the city refuses to actually help them, since a lot of you guys are aware, yeah, few years back, they knocked down the only men's shelter that we had in Sudbury at the time, which was known as the Salvation Army. It was located pretty much downtown Sudbury on Larch Street. Sorry guys, I almost forgot about that. So, just 1 second, I want to point out the exact location to where the shelter originally was. So, yeah, so what you guys are pretty much looking at is what it says 146 Larch Street building, but technically that building does no longer exist. The city knocked it down because the city decided to pull the funding. Now, if the city wants to bitch about what I have to say about this, they can email me and I will tell them where to go on that one. With that being said, guys, the city does need another shelter for the homeless, and I am pushing for a co-ed shelter. When I was out in BC, a lot of you guys don't know this, I used to be homeless. When I was out in BC, I used to travel constantly from here to out west, just doing a lot of different things that I'd rather not say on my live stream. As a lot of it was illegal at the time. So with that being said, the shelter I was staying at in Kamloops, British Columbia, is known as the Christian Hostel. One side was for females, the other side was for males. There was a wall, a decent sized wall separating both sides of the shelter. And I think with the population here and what the homeless population is at currently, we have a good mixture of males and females that are homeless. So I think if we created a co-ed shelter, it would actually help them. And I am saying this, put it downtown where the homeless is able to access it. Because come this summer, we will have them camping on our streets again, and stuff like that. They will be everywhere. So instead of fighting with them, giving them shift where they have to sleep, which is basically they have no options on where they can sleep, work with them, try to create a better solution for them. A lot of these guys, they could be good potential workers if they would be given a chance. Some of them I don't agree with, that they probably wouldn't be a good role model for your business, but just giving them the opportunity to have a chance to work is by far the biggest thing you can do. So yeah. I'm just going to point this out to our greater city of Sudbury. Whoever idea was to put this train track right in the middle of freaking Elm Street was a dumb idea. It's the one that holds up traffic, and two, it takes forever to get past that train when the time comes. So, and then also for EMS and emergency vehicles, every time there's a train, I don't know how many ambulances, fire trucks, police personnel that I've actually seen that actually has to go all the way around to get to their call when there's a train. We should look at finding a new route for these train tracks, changing it, because this ain't working. And I'm honestly surprised there hasn't been an accident at this train track yet. I'm really surprised. But this train track, guys, it is a nuisance. Because it does literally back up traffic. I've actually seen cars, guys, backed up all the way down to here. We're at Shoppers. So it's then on the other side, it's no worse. I've seen cars backed up from here all the way up to this light. Then cars even happen to wait, even on a green light, to make them to cross that intersection. So yeah, that train track it needs to be moved. We need you guys. We need to think of a better solution for that for the trains out here in Sudbury. Because honestly, I don't know how.
Yes, so much money and shit, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You have to literally rip out.
Yeah. Well, don't we have the old track in April? There is another train track. There is another old train station that no one's that though so I can't say that we're not using. It's barely being used. I believe it's located out in Cape Breton and Hanmer, but that train track would be a good spot to move this. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of this live stream for this video. I'm trying to do my live streams a lot shorter, in a sense it's pretty clear that these hour-long uh, streams are not getting the views. So I'm trying to do these a lot shorter. It is kind of hard though doing my live streams and playing the game at the same time because I actually have to I actually have to pull up my taskbar and then stop the live stream and then restart it. So I also, guys, I am promoting my flashing lights show. There, so yeah, please check out my flashing lights. It is a role play between police, fire, and EMS. We can play against CIV, and CIV can be dicks. Setting me on an hour long. Yeah, well, I've actually had to pursue guys recently where I've almost ran out of gas because the guy just would not stop. And he knows I had to get gas, so he just continued to fucking go. So yeah. And there's always something new on that show. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna smoke my popper since weed is legal in Canada now. So, Civic Memorial Cemetery. What the fuck? That's new to me. Civic Memorial Cemetery. Behind. That's not. What the? Oh, that's the one that's connected to the old school. Echo District Apartments. Yeah. So, guys, one last thing. This was the old high school. It's now owned by Zulich Apartment. No, sorry, by 502 Holdings. And this is the old football field. It looks like it could very use a redo. Just slightly. As you can still see the lines though on the field though. That's pretty cool. No, that is pretty cool look. I used to go sliding. Yeah, I used to slide off this hill right here. There used to be a hill right here. I don't know if it's still there. But I used to slide back when we were kids, we used to slide there. Yeah, we lived right here. Number 277. Back when we were kids, we used to live right here. No. Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. That's an watching. Hey guys, thank you guys for watching. Definitely check out that angel. It is worth checking out. And if you guys come across any new pictures on the trees, please let me know. And drop me a like.